Thank you so much for joining us. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Alex Hughes with the North Pacific Homes Group here in Victoria. And in our channel, we try to get out some great content for you, whether it's tips for both buyers or sellers, property tours, and today we're doing a market recap, March 2025. And with all of the tariff negotiations and the upcoming snap federal election, it has most certainly been an interesting month. Now, in terms of units sold, we had 613 properties sold. That is a 16.3% increase from last month, but a 4.3% increase from March 2024. Now, where a lot of these sales had come from are condos. They actually had a 26% increase year over year. And the reason why we're seeing such a big jump in condos is because of all the factors we've talked about in our previous videos. We saw a flood of inventory come into the market because of Airbnbs, and also because of the falling interest rates, making things more affordable. And generally, we see those lower price points the first to jump up in activity. At the end of the month, we had 3,023 active listings. That was a 15% increase from last month, and which is pretty standard as we head into the nicer weather and closer to that spring market. We always see an increase in inventory. However, it was a 14% increase of March of last year. As for our pricing trends, benchmark single family landed at $1,335,300, which is a 3.6% increase from March of last year, and condos $560,400, and they stayed steady with a slight 0.5% increase. Now, one thing that's important to note, and what I find quite interesting, is that Victoria seems to be outperforming other major metropolis cities throughout BC. Now, for our activity, we are 9.7% higher year over year, and for our price, we're actually 3.3% higher year over year. When you look at other real estate boards throughout BC, they are all in the negative. And if you've been paying attention to the news, which I'm sure you are, there have been a variety of headlines all across Canada talking about federal elections, the tariffs, and also interest rates. So we had another interest rate decrease here in March, bringing the overnight policy rate to 2.75%. And as I mentioned earlier about the condos, because these interest rates have been falling, we are starting to see those lower price points really start to pick up activity. Now, quickly brushing over the tariff topic, as we have no idea how this is exactly going to affect our economy, and especially how it's going to affect the Victoria real estate market. But we did see, and I read this in the news a couple of days ago, that the GDP for Canada had ticked up just slightly, as it seems people are preparing for these tariffs, spending money, and especially on Canadian-based goods. Now, for us personally, we've been fielding calls for the last few weeks from Canadians that have been living down and working in America for the past 10-15 years, being paid in American dollars. And because the Canadian dollar has fallen, they're looking at making a move back and taking advantage of this exchange rate. And the big one, of course, is the upcoming federal election for the end of April. And where we are seeing this affect the Victoria real estate market the most, and I'm sure throughout BC as well, is new builds. You have both the Liberals and the Conservatives making promises to varying degrees, with the Liberals saying that there will be no GST paid for first-time homebuyers up to $1 million, and the Conservatives are saying no GST paid for anybody up to $1.3 million. So because of this, we're starting to see that these new builds are slowing down. People are taking a step back and waiting to see what happens in this election, because if it is the Conservatives that get in and they go through with the $1.3 million, that's $65,000 saved to these buyers. And at the end of the day, the real estate market is relatively balanced when you look at it as a whole. Of course, depending on the municipality you're in, whether it's a condo or a single family, these will all play roles. But when you look at that sales to active listing ratio, which we've talked about in previous videos, we are falling within a balanced market between 15 to 20%. And that's everything I have for you folks today. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you found it informative. If you liked the video, give us a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel. It really makes us feel like we're actually giving you valuable content. And if there are any other topics that you want us to cover, definitely give us a comment, shoot us a message. All of our contact info will be down below, including my personal cell. Please feel free to reach out to me. And thank you so much for watching.